Now, in today's world, mutual funds were the product back in those days, but now there are better products, there are better cars. We have Teslas, we have EV vehicles, right?
Okay.
So do you still want to drive a Model T? Will it still get you to where you're going? Yeah, of course. You can invest in mutual funds and you'll still retire and you'll have money in your account. But could you have done better? Could you have used a better vehicle?
One of the easy passive ways to make money in the US is through the stock market, and part of your financial coaching, Mangari, includes teaching people how to invest long-term and how to execute short-term trades.
Yes.
For those maybe not familiar with financial markets, maybe please describe the stock market and why it's considered one of the greatest wealth building tools in America's history.
How many minutes do I have with this segment?
No, just let's just go briefly, and we're talking to people who maybe may not be very familiar.
Don't be technical. Let's not be technical.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, to make people understand who hear about the financial markets in the business news. They hear about the Dow, the S&P, but they don't know exactly what this is.
Okay, I think to understand this U.S. economy, you have to kind of go back to like how it was invented, how it was created. There's a great show on the History Channel called The Men Who Built America.
Oh, amazing. I love it.
That pretty much tells you how we are where we are today, right? It's all about, entrepreneurship. And
I need to write these shows down.
Yeah, it's called The Men Who Built America. It goes back to those days of Rockefeller and Henry Ford and Carnegie, and just like how these guys were competing,
Kennedy.
Yeah, even before the Kennedys, like way before those guys. And it talks about how this country was built and how the wealth and all that stuff. So anyway, but to fast forward, the average American had never or did not have access to the stock market. And in the late 70s or so, these ideas of allowing the regular Mwananchi to have access to Wall Street, because that's where money is made. If you want to create wealth in this country, it's primarily three things: either invest in the stock market, invest in real estate, or have a business. That's primarily those three things.
Entrepreneurship, yeah.
So this in the 70s, back now to those days of Akina Ford or whatever. That was the industrial era where things were made in this country.
Yeah.
Right? Then we went to war. Then, men had to go, women had to go to work to the factories to work, right? So now to entice workers to stay working, they did this whole thing about pension, right? You work for us for a certain number of years and then takulipa
lifetime
and
pension
until you die, right? So that was a trade-off. You work for us and we'll take care of you when you retire.
So the social security back in those days was coming straight from the company.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was basically you work for us and we'll take care of you when you retire, right? But back in those days, you retire at 50, you're dead by 55. So, the company still wins because they're not paying you for that long.
Life was short, nasty, and brutish.
Exactly.
They got the most of your years.
Yeah, they got the most of your years. And back those days, where they're working in factories. So what are you inhaling? All those chemicals and all those, your life, even your condition of life after you retired probably wasn't that great. You just pretty much went home and died. Anyway, as technology, modern health, and all that stuff started to improve, people started living longer. So you retired, 50, you live till 65. Now these companies are going, our bottom line is not looking very good as we keep paying. So what do? They increase the retirement age. They're getting you on the back end and they're getting you on the front end. So now retirement is not 50, now it's 55.
Yeah.
It's not 55, now it's 60. If it's not 60, it just keeps going up and up
Moving
and up, right?
target, yeah.
So when they realized that this model now no longer works to the benefit of the corporations, they moved into this 401k model. This is where the 401k comes into play. Another book for you to read is called 401 Chaos with a K, K-A-O-S. It talks about how 401k was started and the whole whatever. That term 401k is a tax code.
Yeah.
It's an IRS tax code,
yeah.
which is a benefit for the employer, not the employee. And that's a lot of things. That's one thing that people don't know, that the 401k, it's a tax code that benefits the employer.
Stop. I want to make sure I get the name of the book correct.
401.
401.
401, yeah, and then K,
K.
but it's spelled, it's K, so the book is 401K, so talk about the chaos of the 401K.
Okay.
So it's 401,
Okay.
Chaos.
and then K.
Is it all one?
Yeah, it's one word, yeah.
Okay, cool.
The author of the book is Andy Tanner. He's actually Robert Kiyosaki's right-hand man.
Okay.
But anyway, so this 401K now, they took the onus of the companies taking care of the employees after they retired to now everything is on your shoulders. You save your own money, you take care of yourself. Okay? But then there was this other middleman that was added to this whole process, which is Wall Street, because you had now had to invest your money. Like you open up a 401K, but you're investing your money somewhere. Well, where is that somewhere? Well, you want access to Wall Street. Here's the way for you to access Wall Street. We're going to put you in these things called mutual funds. Okay? And that was fine. It worked for a while, but we all know that everything, whenever there's money to be had, people are going to get greedy. That's always the way things go, right? So what was once a very, very good product for regular, Americans to get access to the stock market, when they start charging more fees and more fees to manage, we got to manage this 401K and take more fees on the back end, manage this 401K, take more fees. And then, by the way, they make that commission regardless of how your portfolio performs. So it's not like they have a responsibility to maintain your portfolio to go up. So you're putting money into your 401K every 2 weeks. Yes, your company is matching. That's the carrot, by the way. That's where the tax benefit comes for the corporation, because when you put money in your 401K, you are deferring taxes to a later time. But that match your company gives you, they write it off that year because to them, it's a write-off. It's a deduction, right? So you have to understand the products that you are invested in. And there's nothing wrong with the 401K model. Like I said, it's now the products that are inside of it. I mentioned Henry Ford, the first
Ford T.
T model.
Model T, yeah.
That was a very good car. It was a huge upgrade from the old-fashioned let's get a donkey and take it for a ride, right? When the car came,
Baradi.
yeah, when the Model T was created, it was a better invention than what was currently there, right? Now, in today's world, mutual funds were the product back in those days, but now there are better products, there are better cars. We have Teslas, we have EV vehicles, right?
Okay.
So do you still want to drive a Model T? Will it still get you to where you're going? Yeah, of course. You can invest in the mutual funds and you'll still retire and you'll have money in your account. But could you have done better? Could you have used a better vehicle to give you the same results, if not better? And bypass the middleman, who's this fund manager. And there's nothing wrong, again, with fund managers. They're just doing their jobs as well, too. They're sales guys. Commission, right? If you don't get an asset under management, you're not getting paid. So those guys also have to feed their families. But people have to understand what products they're getting themselves into before they, put all their eggs in that one basket.
Now, here's the thing. It's easy to say people have to understand these products. And people already know that they have to understand these products, you know. But from my personal experience, there's not necessarily a good job that's done in making people understand what's in this product, and it's not necessarily an easy thing for someone to understand if you've been to nursing school and nursing is what you know, and then you're getting your first job. And then here they're telling you, or you can either get in a target date fund, or you can get in this fund. Those things are Greek. And I, myself personally, as a finance professional, 100% of the time, I try to put myself on the other side of the spectrum. And I realize what a pathetic job human resource departments do. Not to their fault, but to the effect that those people in the HR department, because those are the ones who teach you about 401k. And for most, sessions that I have attended in different jobs that I've been in, I start noticing that these people are being forced to explain a product
they don't
that
understand.
they don't understand.